Hello, everyone. I'm coming to you with another interview. This week, we're looking at the naturalist pathway, seeing God through nature. And I have Mike Morettin with me. Mike, so good to have you on this interview. What would be the role of this pathway in your relationship with God? Maybe that would be my first question. I know you and I have gone on a couple hikes together. So, and we shared a little bit. So why don't you share with everybody watching?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. And the naturalist pathway. It's my second, I guess, most prevalent pathway. And I guess what it means for me, or how it helps me connect with God, is when I'm out in nature and just sort of looking at His creation, and whether seeing a sunset or seeing the ocean or seeing the mountain or seeing trees, um, it's a time where I can be quiet, both in my mind and hopefully with my mouth, but really just in my mind and in my heart. And I find that that's when I can just sort of pause and reflect and gaze, and my mind just sort of opens up to hearing and processing as well. Sometimes on a hike, it's like a running stream of little mini prayers and thoughts and comments, and I'll pause, and then I'll kind of check back in and say, oh, hey, that's really cool, and God, that's really neat what you made there, and then sort of go in and out of that kind of pattern, that sort of thinking, and just the overall process just sort of empties. Like my mind is usually racing with like a million things of different regrets, other things. I can breathe. A lot of the stress just sort of fades, and then I feel like I hear God's voice, and just connect with Him more. Part of it is appreciating the nature, but honestly, I just appreciate the quiet, and then the beautiful, kind of the beautiful scenery that just reminds me of Him when I'm doing it. So I know that's what it does for me. Jody is kind of high on the naturalist as well, and for her, sometimes it's when she's out like doing gardening and stuff like that. Lately, she's been pruning our cedar hedges, and while she's doing that, she's pruning dead branches, and that's reminding her of passages, and she's thinking of scriptures while she's doing all this, and it's like a double benefit for me, because I hate yard work, and so if she connects with God doing it, man, fine with me.
Take all the artwork you want, honey. Right?
So that's it for me.
No, thanks, Mike. I think one of the things that I actually heard people
Exactly.
people say about being a naturalist and going on a prayer walk or a hike, and do you always talk to God? And thanks for sharing that. No, you take breaks. You kind of figure things out. Sometimes you share those prayers. Sometimes you just marvel at things, and it's not people don't need to feel guilty if they don't always say things out loud while on a hike, and spend some time in quiet and all that. So that's very cool. What would be your recommendation to somebody who hasn't developed this pathway much, or maybe just new to trying out being a naturalist this week, or maybe not just this week, but in general? What's a good place to start?
Yeah, a few things sort of jump to mind. One is maybe just like finding a spot to go and just enjoy it. You can drive up to a viewpoint at Cypress. You can talk to different naturalists, and see where they like to go, and just enjoy some of those secret spots. Talk to Earl, talk to Janet. I'm sure they'll give you a list of little places that you can go. One time, Earl took me to this bridge in some like industrial part of Richmond, and it was super sketchy getting there, but once you were there, it was awesome. And so just trying to find a spot like that, and just be quiet. Don't feel like you have to have this super amazing prayer time. Like, just be quiet and enjoy, and just sort of see what comes through that. So that'd be one thing. If going out and driving to some site isn't your bag, then like get your hands dirty, like come over to my house and do some pruning, do
Help
some
Jody out.
gardening, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Putting out the call for all of those, but just trying some of those things, I think would be really good. Going for a simple walk and maybe just pausing and reflecting at, the cherry blossoms, or just something that's real simple that's around you. I mean, we're in this area where we just take it for granted because it's all around us, but there is so much rich beauty. Even pausing and watching, the birds in your lawn, or in your yard. Pausing, I think, is really really a key. So I'd throw those things out there. Maybe drive to a spot, maybe just sort of pause and reflect in your neighborhood. A little bit of intentionality with that, and don't feel like you have to make it like uber special. Just try it and see what the spirit prompts in you.
Amen. No, those are great great thoughts, Mike. Great suggestions. I was actually reminiscing about we had the midweek, and Brandon, who is from Chicago, said BC is pretty amazing. When and I know a lot of you who lived here all your life can take this for granted, but for us that come here, and we go like, wow, look at that, it's like a kid in an amusement park. So this is really a very special place of God, and I'm glad to be living here together with you and the rest of our congregation. So let's take those steps, and thanks for coming on this interview. Hopefully everybody watching, you can take something out of this, and just to keep developing this very pathway with God. Thanks, Mike. Have a great night.
Awesome. All right. Thanks. See ya.
Bye.